All right. Hey, Cheryl, Ling. I got my son, so back in the house. Amazingly, I've been talking about my perils, meaning amalgam removal and, sort of like torturous situation with visiting different doctors. And, everybody wants their money. I go, well, I can do that too. I'll give you an opinion like, you're going to die. Okay, that's $200. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I drove over to like so-called biological dentist and I handed them my wallet of what I really should deserve. It's a little better than someone just telling me you're gonna have every one of your teeth pulled. That's just it's just not cool. But with all that said, my hips are feeling better. I know, because I was complaining to my friend. Well, when I went to the beach the other day, I do have to be careful because the sand sucks down your femur every time you step in it. I mean, usually I wouldn't notice that in the past, but now I do. This is like, when your car is kind of tilted on one side. I don't know if you have that misalignment or whatever, right? And then you go, oh, wow, it's not driving smoothly, just like now. I mean, I don't know. I think I need a chiropractic adjustment. I just noticed that somehow my shoulder is tilting on this side. So, maybe I'm going to like hit something or something, somehow to adjust this. I just love that, when I do that. So I'm going to do that, but I do feel better. My hips are feeling better. Meaning that obviously I'm very aware of the so-called impingement and all these stuff that show up on your x-rays, like a bone spur. It means that there's something, a growth on your bone, means more bone, and which is not a good thing because your femur is supposed to be round and that's how it glides. If it has an extra bump, that's going to wear something else out. But as Dr. Centino said that it's best not to mess with it, meaning to have a surgical removal of the bone. Because now I learn when you do go through this so-called orthopedic surgeries, even though it's not a deception, the technologies have allowed them to do this endoscopic, I'm sure you're aware of that, endoscopy meaning that they just poke it. Well, they make a small scar instead of cutting it like, and with the zipper, then you're going to look like Alex the cat ate the fish with the bone. You look like a fish bone. You see, with the endoscopic technology, the appealing part is it's a small incision, a hole where the surgeon go in there with instruments like that, the camera go in there, okay, I guess that's the bone spur, we need to shave that and, take out, suction out the junk. But I didn't know, once I saw this posting by Dr. Centino, by the way, is my doctor in Regenics in Colorado, and I feel like I can trust him the most because I've tried to come back here. Anyway, so I'm just going off on a topic to Beverly Hills, and they're trained by Dr. Centino, but it's just not the same. They're really good. There are a couple of doctors there. India. Maybe I said like from India. Maybe I was going to the office. I go, 有神噶，有勁噶，做神經嚟噶，但係人 X 嗱，真係記唔記得 20X maybe that offended him. I don't know. But so I went back to Dr. Centino in Colorado, and this is like a particular formula that we use to extract. When I say extract, just the blood, which contains platelets. So I have the so-called the cheapy version, not the stem cell. Stem cell, it's like, you got to draw from your bone marrow. And for me, I have to pay extra for that. Well, because I want to be, totally knocked out. I'm just a sensitive being. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh. I remember the first time I had the bone marrow draw. A bone marrow draw is just you know, they draw from the true indentation. I don't know if I can show that, but this will be kind of scandalous. I don't think I can show that, but anyways, the indentation on your pelvis, like on your butt, that's where the thinnest part of the bone, so they can go through there, puncture that, and suck in the bone marrow and whatever it requires, and put it in the lab and does the magic and re-inject into your injured, so that you get the stem cell. It's more complicated, obviously, because it's, you know, a huge patented deal. I mean, I wouldn't know unless I'm some kind of industrial spy, but I am not. I just want to get well. So I've been getting the so-called the platelet, which is the super concentrate platelet. And like Dr. Centino said, that the super concentrate platelet is unlike any kind of so-called bedside centrifuge. It means that you can even go to a chiropractor's office now, office, and will give you that, the so-called the PRP, platelet-rich plasma, but it's like one formula fits all, and you know how that is. There's never one formula fits all. It's not as effective, as I learned. It has all the red blood cells, which is very inflammatory. So versus the Regenix procedure, which they have a thoroughly, I mean, I'm serious, this is a bunker of all times, that has all the machines that are cranking up, and biologists that actually scoop up the top layer. What do you call the? I like that. What is the name of the scoop? It's I was gonna say. You know, now I feel stupid. Anyway, so you have like a different you know, biologists that go through your blood and sift out all the bad stuff. So that's all I know. And mine is a 20x. Okay. 20x means 20 times the concentrate. I'm going to stop for a moment because it bothers me. What is it? It's called, what is it? It's not Goliath. You know how it is? I need to get rid of that amalgam because I can't think of the name of it. You know, the top layer. Okay. Buffy coat. Buffy coat. Thank you. You know why? Because I thought of vampire Buffy. If you ever watch that show, but I don't. Anyway, so we got the Buffy coat, and you know, this is all I know. The platelets that you know, it will act as a growth factor stimulator. It has the growth factor. It stimulates all the stem cell in the region and call them down to heal this hip. So this is where the hip socket right there, my left hip that was flattened. I know this is not intended to be an educational video, but what the heck? You know what I'm getting at. If you have a shoulder injury like this, like going like this, I gotta like put a cast on this thing. Then the injection would be like in there, or to your knee, you know, wherever the injury is, or ligament tendons. But I know with the joint and cartilage, that's my problem. It was worn down. But amazingly, whatever it's doing its job. Even though my left femur is worn pretty flat. I'm surprised. This is a very thankful, and thank you, Jesus, the testimony that indication should be necrosis, and that's not a good word. If you guys know that term, necrosis is the death of the bone. You don't want a necrosis. Like, you know, people have necrosis after they drink too much. Alcoholics, I know people that drank so much, have drank their bones to death. Yes. In fact, I ran into someone who out at fishing dock. They had 2 hip replacements because that necrosis, that from drinking so much, it killed the bones on both hips. So they had them replaced, and that's not a joke. You know, if I am complaining about the freaking amalgam, the mercury mixed with other metals in my mouth that are being toxic, what do you think that a metal gonna do? A metal replacing when they cut off your bone, shit, you're never gonna get it back. Anyway, long story short, longer. I'm going back to Colorado, so I'm gonna get rid of this amalgam. I'm going back to see Dr. C. I call him Dr. C because instead of Centino, it's 3 syllables, so C is either. I can't do a selfie on what I'm gonna make, but it's raw milk. I know it's hard to see it. It's I'm gonna get milk. It means raw milk is much, much, much better. I mean, the other stuff, the cheapy one, I mean, it's expensive. This 1 gallon, I have an empty bottle here. Thank God we can still get raw milk. I'm not advertising for them, but organic pasture. So look at the cows. They're eating grass, and that's the way that cows were meant to eat. Not confined in a big trough and being fed with these genetically modified corn and other shit and shot up with a bunch of antibiotics, because that's the reason why they have to boil the crap out of it. And when they do that, they kill all the enzymes. I'm sure you're all aware of that. It's just the affordability, because this is the price of gold. I mean, what? No, seriously, I can buy an ounce of silver. It's $17, I think. But when I go to Colorado, I have to, it's ridiculous because, again, it's a freaking FDA, the big government in the past. So hopefully Trump is going to get rid of all that stupid regulations. It's a lie that they lie and said that, raw milk is not safe for you. Well, the reason it is unsafe because of the cows are shot up with antibiotics and they eat the GMO crap. They're all confined, so they're sick all the time, and you don't want to drink sick cow's milk. But the good stuff, the raw milk, is they roam around, eat grass as the way they intended to. So in Colorado, ironically, I have to join this so-called the co-op. I cannot buy raw milk in the supermarket. Go figure. You can buy raw milk in California only if the store decides to carry them, such as the Full Life, like not the Whole Food, no, Full Life and Sprouts. They have raw milk, so yeah, go Sprouts. I'm gonna, go. I'll just hoard them when I get there. It's like, I don't care. I can mortgage my future, but I need this raw milk now. I call them as they save 3 gallons for me. So raw milk and what do you call it? High of CLA. It's an amalgam. Don't blame it on the raw milk. And then I mixed it with, blend it with. Now I think cilantro is good. Some beets, and it helps me when I go to the pool. People. Actually, I met this lady, Susan. She thought I was like a swimmer. Like, people thought I'm swimming professionally. I'm like going, no, I am not. In fact, I'm just a poor, sorrowful little me who's injured and glad to see another day. Anyway, so my hope is that that FDA will eventually get rid of all this restriction about culture stem cells, that we can do culture stem cells. It means that my cells, that once it's extracted, it will be expanded like they do to horses, because they extract, like say you have 1 million stem cells out of your jaw, and then, because everybody's stem cell counts are different, and then they put it in a lab where they grow it, culture, which is pretty simple. I think it's just growth factors, right? Then it grows to be like maybe 200 million or whatever. So re-inject into your injury so you heal faster. And like I said, they do that to raise horses, because they raise horses cost a lot of money. They can win a lot of money in like derbies and things like that. Okay, and are we less inferior? Are we inferior? We're not inferior. We are supposed to be the kings and the queens of the earth. So yeah, we demand that. We want to be able to be treated with culture stem cell. That's it.